Every single day, 10,000 seniors fall in the United States alone, and most of them had no idea it was coming. One moment, they're walking to the kitchen, reaching for a glass, stepping off a curb, and then the ground rushes up to meet them. What happens next can change everything. A broken hip, a hospital stay, months of recovery, or worse. But here's what nobody is telling you about why that happens. This video is about the real reason seniors fall, and it is not what your doctor probably told you. Most people assume falling is just a natural part of getting older, that your balance gets worse, your legs get weaker, and eventually, gravity wins. That's the conventional wisdom, and it is dangerously incomplete. Because the true cause of most falls in seniors is happening inside your nervous system, not just your muscles. And once you understand that, everything changes, including what you can actually do about it. I've spent years studying the research on senior mobility, balance science, and fall prevention. What you're about to hear comes from peer-reviewed neuroscience and physical therapy literature that most general practitioners simply never have time to discuss with you in a 12-minute appointment. Here's the roadmap. First, we're going to expose the two real culprits behind senior falls, and one of them is going to surprise you. Then we're going to walk through 5 specific exercises that directly target those causes. Not generic stretches, not vague advice about being careful. 5 precise, proven movements that retrain your body from the inside out. Stay with me through all 5, because the last one is the most important, and it's the one almost nobody is doing. Let's start with what's actually going wrong. When most people think about why seniors fall, they go straight to muscle weakness. And yes, muscle loss is real. After age 60, the average person loses between 1 and 3% of their muscle mass every single year. That's a process called sarcopenia, and it is absolutely a factor. But muscle weakness alone does not explain most falls. Here's why. Think about a toddler. Toddlers have almost no muscle strength compared to an adult. They fall constantly when they're learning to walk. But then something clicks. Their nervous system catches up. Their brain starts communicating faster with their legs, their feet, their core. And suddenly, they stop falling. Now flip that around. What happens as we age is that the communication between your brain and your muscles starts to slow down. The signal gets delayed. The feedback loop gets fuzzy. Your body sends a message. Shift your weight left. And by the time your muscles receive that message and respond, it's already too late. You've already started to tip. This is called neuromuscular latency, and it is the hidden engine behind most senior falls. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you're driving a car, and there's a 2-second delay between when you turn the steering wheel and when the tires actually respond. At slow speeds, you might manage. But the moment something unexpected happens, a pothole, a wet patch, someone stepping in front of you, you crash. Because your reaction time is too slow. That's exactly what's happening in your body. And this matters enormously because it changes the solution. If the problem were purely muscular, you'd just need to lift weights. But if the problem is neurological, if your brain-to-muscle communication has slowed down, then you need exercises that specifically retrain that communication pathway. You need to teach your nervous system to respond faster, more accurately, and more automatically. That's what we're going to do today. But before we get to the exercises, there's a second cause you need to understand. Because it works alongside neuromuscular latency, and together they create a dangerous combination. It's called proprioceptive decline. Proprioception is your body's internal GPS. It's the system of sensors in your muscles, joints, and the soles of your feet that constantly tells your brain where you are in space. Right now, without looking at your feet, you know roughly where they are. You know if you're leaning slightly left or right. You know if the ground beneath you is flat or angled. That awareness, that constant stream of positional data flowing to your brain, is proprioception. And after 60, it starts to degrade. The sensors in your feet and ankles become less sensitive. The signals they send get weaker. Your brain starts receiving a blurrier picture of where your body is in space. And when the picture is blurry, your balance system has to work much harder to keep you upright. And it doesn't always succeed. Here's the crucial part. Proprioceptive decline is dramatically accelerated by two things that are extremely common in older adults: sedentary behavior and poor footwear. When you stop moving, when you spend most of your day sitting, those proprioceptive sensors in your feet and joints go quiet. They stop getting stimulated. And like any system that doesn't get used, they start to deteriorate faster. And when you wear thick, cushioned, overly supportive shoes, the kind that are often marketed to seniors as safe, you're actually muffling the sensory input coming from the ground. You're putting a layer of foam between your nervous system and the information it needs to keep you balanced. This is one of those counterintuitive truths that the research is very clear on, but that rarely makes it into mainstream advice. So now you have the full picture. Neuromuscular latency slowing down your brain-to-muscle response. Proprioceptive decline blurring your body's internal GPS. These two things working together are why falls happen, and why they happen suddenly, without warning, even to people who feel relatively healthy and active. Now, let's fix it. These 5 exercises are specifically designed to address both causes simultaneously. They retrain your nervous system. They sharpen your proprioception. And yes, they also build the specific muscle groups most critical for fall prevention: your ankles, your hips, and your deep core stabilizers. Do these consistently, and I mean 3 to 4 times a week, not just once. And the research shows measurable improvement in balance and reaction time within 6 to 8 weeks. Let's go. The first exercise is called the Tandem Balance Hold. This one looks simple, and that's exactly why most people underestimate it. Here's how you do it. Stand near a wall or counter for safety. Place one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching toe, like you're standing on a tight rope. Now hold that position for 30 seconds. Then switch which foot is in front and hold again. That's it. But here's what's happening underneath the surface. The moment you put your feet in that narrow line, you've dramatically reduced your base of support. Your body can no longer rely on a wide stance to stay stable. It has to activate the deep stabilizer muscles in your ankles and hips. Muscles that barely get used when you're walking normally on flat ground. And more importantly, it forces your proprioceptive system to work overtime. Every tiny sway, every micro-adjustment, every wobble, your nervous system has to detect it and correct it in real time. You're essentially giving your internal GPS a workout. Now here's the progression that makes this exercise even more powerful. Once you can hold the tandem stance for 30 seconds comfortably, you close your eyes. When you remove vision, your body loses one of its 3 balance inputs: vision, the vestibular system in your inner ear, and proprioception. Without visual input, your proprioceptive system has to carry more of the load. It has to become sharper, more sensitive, more responsive. This is called sensory reweighting, and it's one of the most well-documented mechanisms in balance rehabilitation research. Start with eyes open. Work up to eyes closed. Even 5 seconds with eyes closed is progress. Don't rush it. And always, always have something nearby to grab if you need it. The second exercise is the single leg stance with hip hinge. This one targets something very specific: the hip abductors and the lateral hip stabilizers. These are the muscles on the outside of your hips and glutes that keep your pelvis level when you're walking. When they're weak, your pelvis drops every time you lift one foot off the ground. And a dropping pelvis is one of the primary mechanical triggers for a fall. Here's how to do it. Stand on one leg, again near a counter or wall. Now slowly hinge forward at the hips, not at the waist, at the hips, and reach your free leg back behind you like a counterbalance. You're making a slow, controlled T shape with your body. Hold for 3 seconds at the bottom. Then return to standing. Do 8 to 10 repetitions, then switch legs. The key word is controlled. This is not a fast movement. Slow is where the neurological benefit lives. When you move slowly and deliberately, your nervous system has to maintain continuous, active communication with your muscles throughout the entire range of motion. Fast movements let momentum do some of the work. Slow movements don't. Every degree of that hinge has to be controlled by your nervous system. That's the training stimulus you're after. And here's why this matters in the bigger picture. The most common fall scenario for seniors is not slipping on ice or tripping over a rug, though those happen too. The most common scenario is a stumble. One foot catches slightly, the body starts to tip, and the hip stabilizers on the standing leg don't activate fast enough to catch the fall. Strengthening and retraining those stabilizers directly addresses that exact scenario. That's important. But if you don't also address what's happening at your ankles, you're only solving half the problem. The third exercise is the heel-to-toe rock. Your ankles are the first line of defense against a fall. Before your hips, before your core, before anything else, your ankles are what detect a balance disturbance and begin the correction. They are ground zero for proprioception. And yet most fall prevention programs barely touch ankle training. Here's the exercise. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, near a counter for safety. Slowly rise up onto your toes, as high as you can go, and hold for 2 seconds. Then slowly rock back onto your heels, lifting your toes off the ground, and hold for 2 seconds. Rock forward, rock back. Do this 10 to 15 times in a controlled, deliberate rhythm. Simple, powerful. Here's what's happening. The calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus, are critical for the ankle strategy, which is your body's primary mechanism for recovering from small balance disturbances. When you start to sway forward, your calves fire to pull you back. When you sway backward, your shin muscles fire to pull you forward. This is a reflex. It happens automatically. And like all reflexes, it can be trained to be faster and stronger. The heel-to-toe rock directly trains this reflex. It takes the ankle through its full range of motion under load, stimulating the proprioceptive sensors in the joint, and building the calf and shin strength needed to execute the ankle strategy quickly. Here's the progression. Once this feels easy, do it on a slightly unstable surface. A folded towel on the floor works perfectly. Just 1 or 2 inches of instability dramatically increases the proprioceptive demand on your ankles. The sensors have to work harder because the surface is less predictable. That's exactly the kind of challenge that makes them sharper. But here's where it gets really interesting, because the fourth exercise is where the neuroscience gets genuinely remarkable. The fourth exercise is called the Reactive Step Drill. This is the one that most directly targets neuromuscular latency, that delayed brain-to-muscle communication we talked about at the beginning. And it works on a principle that most people have never heard of: reactive neuromuscular training. Here's the core idea. Your nervous system has 2 kinds of movement responses: voluntary movements, things you consciously decide to do, and reactive movements, things your nervous system does automatically in response to an unexpected stimulus. Falling prevention is almost entirely about reactive movements. You don't consciously decide to catch yourself when you stumble. Your nervous system does it for you, or it doesn't. Reactive neuromuscular training specifically trains those automatic response pathways. Here's how to do this exercise at home. Stand near a counter. Have a partner stand beside you, or if you're alone, use a small, soft object like a rolled-up sock. The goal is to introduce a small, unexpected weight shift, and then recover from it. If you have a partner, have them gently and unpredictably push on your shoulder. Not hard, just a nudge. And your job is to catch yourself with a quick step in whatever direction you need. If you're alone, hold a small weight in one hand and let it swing slightly to one side, forcing your body to compensate. The key word again is unpredictable. Your nervous system needs to practice responding to surprises. Predictable balance exercises train your muscles. Unpredictable balance challenges train your reflexes. And your reflexes are what actually catch you when you fall. Do this for 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times. Rest between sets. Now here's the bigger picture on this one. Research from the Journal of Neurophysiology has shown that reactive neuromuscular training can reduce fall risk by up to 50% in older adults over a 12-week period. Not 5%, not 10%, 50%. That is a staggering number. And it comes specifically from training the reactive pathways, not just building strength, not just improving balance in static positions, but training the nervous system to respond fast when something unexpected happens. This is the exercise that most fall prevention programs are missing, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. But there's one more, and this one ties everything together. The 5th exercise is the cross-body coordination walk. Balance is not just about your legs, it's about the coordination between your upper body and lower body. And specifically, the cross-body communication that happens when you walk. When your right leg steps forward, your left arm swings forward. When your left leg steps, your right arm swings. This reciprocal cross-body pattern is controlled by neural pathways that run through your spinal cord and brain stem. As we age, this cross-body coordination degrades. The pattern becomes less automatic, less smooth. And when it breaks down, your gait becomes shuffling, rigid, and unstable, which dramatically increases fall risk. Here's the exercise. Walk in a straight line. Down a hallway is perfect, but as you walk, exaggerate your arm swing. Really swing your arms. Make it deliberate and big. Left arm forward with right leg, right arm forward with left leg. Now add a cognitive challenge. Count backward from 100 by 3s as you walk. This might sound strange, but here's why it works. Falls very often happen when people are doing 2 things at once: walking and talking, walking and looking at something, walking and thinking about something. The cognitive load of doing 2 tasks simultaneously is one of the biggest predictors of fall risk in seniors. It's called dual task interference, and it's a well-established phenomenon in the research. By practicing walking with a simultaneous cognitive task, you're training your nervous system to handle that dual task demand more efficiently. You're making the walking pattern more automatic, so it requires less conscious attention, which frees up your brain to handle the other task without compromising your balance. The exaggerated arm swing is the physical component. The counting backward is the neurological component. Together, they're retraining the cross-body coordination pathways and building dual-task resilience at the same time. Do this for 2 to 3 minutes. It will feel awkward at first. That's a good sign. Awkward means your nervous system is being challenged, and challenged nervous systems adapt. Now, let's step back and look at what you just learned. Most people think falls are about weak legs. The real story is far more specific and far more solvable. Neuromuscular latency slows down your brain-to-muscle response time. Proprioceptive decline blurs your body's internal GPS. Together, they create the conditions for a fall, and both of them can be directly addressed through targeted exercise. The Tandem balance hold sharpens your proprioceptive system by reducing your base of support and progressively removing visual input. The single-leg hip hinge strengthens and retrains the lateral hip stabilizers that keep your pelvis level when you walk and catch you when you stumble. The heel-to-toe rock trains the ankle strategy, your body's first line of defense against a balance disturbance, and stimulates the proprioceptive sensors in your ankles. The Reactive Step Drill directly targets neuromuscular latency by training your reactive response pathways, the automatic reflexes that catch you before you fall. And the cross-body coordination walk rebuilds the neural pathways for reciprocal gait and builds your brain's ability to handle movement and cognition simultaneously. 5 exercises, each one targeting a specific mechanism, each one backed by the neuroscience of balance and fall prevention. Now, before we wrap up, I want to ask you something. Is there someone in your life, a parent, a spouse, a neighbor, a friend, who you worry about? Someone who's had a close call, or who you can tell is moving a little less steadily than they used to? Share this video with them, right now, before you forget. Because the information in this video could genuinely change their trajectory. Not in a vague, feel-good way. In a specific, measurable, this is how your nervous system works way that gives them real tools to use. And if you found this valuable, please hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that this information is worth spreading to more people who need it. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we go this deep on senior health topics every single week. There's a video coming up on the single most important thing you can do for bone density after 60 that has nothing to do with calcium supplements. And you're going to want to see that one. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 exercises are you going to start with? Or, if you've already been doing some balance work, tell me what's been working for you. I read every comment, and your experience might help someone else who's just starting out. Now here's what I want you to walk away with. You came into this video probably thinking falls were about weak muscles and getting older. Maybe you were a little worried. Maybe someone you love has already fallen, and you're trying to understand why. What you found instead was a completely different framework, a neurological explanation that actually makes sense of what's happening in the body, and 5 specific tools, not vague advice, not be careful on stairs, but actual exercises with actual mechanisms that you can start using this week. That's not what most people expect from a video about fall prevention, and that's exactly the point.